Welcome to the Dope and Tape Show. Guys, we're really excited to have you. We have Steve from Long Island. We're going to talk about some codes. We're going to talk about consequences of not doing your job right. You can go to court and all the other things that come into it. We're really excited to have you guys. And yeah, man, we're going to get right to it, man.
Happy to
It's
be here.
episode 61 and
61, dude.
Cool.
crazy.
That is crazy, and that's if we
Love it.
counted right. Maybe hopefully we counted right, but 61. Nevertheless, that's a lot of episodes to be on here. Happy to be here. We're happy that you're here watching this, whether it's live or the replay, or if you're watching a little clip or something. Thank you so much. The support,
Love the
it means the
community.
world to us. Yeah, it really does. And the DMs have been flying, and then the questions, and I get really intrigued when I get a question that I don't know, because then it gets me looking up stuff, and then I'm learning with whoever's asking me the question. Today we'd like to touch on, like Brian said, like if you don't do your job right, you could end up in court. You could potentially end up in jail. If you're a journeyman just sitting around watching things happen, you could potentially end up in court for just letting these things slide. So that's why NFPA has a set of standards that we should be following. And it's not just like one that and you should know all of these. You should be very fluid in them. And if you're not, you can obtain it online. You could obtain it. I'm sure your company would get it for you. But you want to be following 13, 13D, 20, 241, 14, 25. There's all types of NFPAs that you should be just well versed in. And, I'm one of them. I'm not well versed in all of them. If I have a question, I got to start diving and digging in there. And really, it just boils down to you got to be reading these books. And if you're reading these books and these chapters, then you'll know this stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I am quoting when I'm doing sales, I'm quoting all kind of different things from new construction to small service jobs to large service jobs to inspections of all kind of different facilities and occupancies. So it really, I have to ask questions all the time because I'm dealing with so much stuff. There's no way I can know it all.
Same.
No way anybody. So today I had to walk a building. So the issue is, so the fire alarm failed on the inspection test, but for the fire alarm on this building, and I was looking at it, everything else passed, but the horns and strobes are not syncing. So code states that they might not be all in sync, but as long as they are in a confined area with walls where you cannot see the other area, then that area can be in sync, and then another area can be in sync, and then another area. They don't have to. The entire building does not have to fall under the same synchronization. So I went back there, just kind of walked, because maybe it's a mistake, and maybe we can pass this report, but they were not in sync. So trying to figure it out, and evidently there's like sync. I'm not big. I don't know a lot about fire alarms, so I had to get a guy to come and like walk me through this because there's these. There's what is it? I don't even know the name of them anymore.
Yeah,
But
you can't
like
know it all.
modules.
There's nobody that
I
knows it
don't. I
all.
don't know. And
Yeah,
so,
what's
and I got a
module?
call today from a coworker and she was like, "Hey, do we have to permit this? Is this and this and this?" And I got to ask, what county and this and no one knows everything, not at all.
And
You
then
know,
you
I had
think
a
of
job. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe watching them fail for they weren't in sync. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, they failed us because they weren't in sync. I'm like, why does that matter? It's like it just has to be in sync. I'm
well,
like,
like all the lights have to be going off same time.
yeah, and
At the same time. So that's
yeah,
why if someone is narcoleptic,
Epileptic.
epileptic, is it epileptic?
Epileptic.
Jeez,
What is it?
me and
Hold on.
speech, huh?
Hold on. Say it again.
Epileptic. Epileptic.
What?
Close.
I
Oh,
gotta read it. I
hold
gotta
on.
read it.
Hold
I
on.
gotta read it.
One more time.
What, so you can record it?
Yeah. We're gonna take a soundbite of that. It's epileptic, I think.
I couldn't believe when that was the reason. You
So
guys
yeah,
got
so if it's out of sync, the person can have a seizure.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think that they would probably have a seizure regardless because of the strobes, whether they're in sync or not. Doesn't that?
Yeah, I mean,
Where's
what I
Teague?
was thinking
Wait,
about
Teague's
is,
epileptic, isn't he?
yeah, I think he is.
Let's get Teague
So
in
that's
here.
gonna be like, how do they drive? Like, do they, if there's like a
Brian,
tow truck behind them or a cop or an ambulance or something, do they just like close one eye? Does that help?
you got
Kind of
someone.
like when you're going home, you're
You
trying to
got
make it home and it stops the blurring, you
you got
know?
someone to be a first-time chatter. Narcoleptic is falling asleep. Yo, D Weave, thank you. 25? Is that 25 signify NFPA 25 for inspections? So why isn't like NFPA 241 enforced like all the other standards? How come only in the Northeast are we doing and following NFPA 241 standards? That blows my mind.
But it's new though. Why are we only following 2016? There's a newer version, but why am I in 2016? They have to be adopted. It's
Okay,
I
new.
thought it was
touche.
2007. Isn't it 2017?
I
I'm at
think
16.
I want to say
The, thir-
I
the
want to
13,
say
I'm at
the
2016.
fire that implemented there was a fire in New York,
It was like
but it
it
was
was
in
a bank.
2007. The douchebank fire in New York
Yeah,
City brought about major changes to the NFPA 241. Oh,
that was a
fire
real fun.
killed two um, New York Fire Department firefighters.
Yeah, they
Non-functioning
ran up there
standpipes
with
prevented them
hoses.
from getting water up to the fire floor.
They ran up
Sent
with hoses, and the lines were
sent in by
cut.
my buddy Zach.
So it hooked up to a dead line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one LOL made it when I was 25 years old. All right, pretty
Speaking
cool.
of
It's
hoses,
coming. Let's
um,
go. It's coming, Chris.
so
Don't get
like
me excited.
hoses are widely used around the world. Like, so I went to Brazil and
What
they
are?
use some all over the place. Fire hoses.
Oh, for other things you're saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, like only the major buildings or newer buildings have sprinkler. Everything else doesn't. But their structures in Brazil and as well as South America, they're made of concrete.
Yeah, but the stuff inside the concrete is what burns.
Yeah, no, for
You
sure.
burn out that whole concrete shell, whatever's in there, because it's
Oh,
probably
it's
wood and fabrics.
no, absolutely. And but America is doing away, or at least Georgia is doing away with the hoses.
Well, we have no more hoses by us. We have to take them out a lot
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're talking
Yeah,
about hoses that are just in that someone can
in the
grab? Like,
cabin.
we got to
cabin,
remove those. Well, because too many people
right.
try to be a hero, and they don't pull it all the way out and turn it on, and so that you got to
Well,
pull them
Bobby,
out.
you have a lot of old buildings up by you. We have a lot of older buildings by us that have inch-and-a-half lines for like a fire brigade.
So
And then like the insurance
almost
company's like, take that
almost
out.
all the old cabinets are 3 foot by 3 foot and has that inch and a half valve that was up top that used to have the rack hanging on it and the hose all coiled up, but then it also has the 2.5 inch fire department hose valve on the bottom facing upward. But we just remove the rack and the hose and put a cap on there.
The ones I have don't have the 2.5. They're just 2.5 lines with the cabins for
Yeah,
like trained staff, but
yeah
they
we
stopped
we
that.
got
The
both.
insurance
Like
company said no more.
fire protection's just a
During
little bit
fire,
extra up here.
you guys, do you guys like grab an extinguisher? Like if I am at like a hotel somewhere on vacation or whatever, or for example, me and Bobby were at a large
Oh
hotel.
yeah, I'm running to the chaos. I'm gonna run
Bro,
into the chaos every time.
Wait a minute. Did you guys hug when you saw each other? Was it like One Less Lovers? Never
no,
met?
we never
How did
met.
it go? I know. How did it
We
go?
had
Did you
never
guys
met.
embrace? What happened?
Well,
Me and
it was a long day
Did
of
you touch his
travel. It was a long
mustache?
day
What
of
happened?
traveling, and I waited in this long ass line to get these tacos. And the dude would only make certain tacos in this line, so then I had to wait in this whole nother line. So by the time I got my tacos and I ate down, I had taken about 2 bites when Brian showed up, so didn't even really care. I was just eating the tacos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like, okay, cool, all right,
Yeah.
cool, okay,
Yeah, we gave a
all
hug. It was
right.
like, hey, nice to meet. Like I feel like I know him.
Yeah, no, I get it too. I feel like I know you guys too, but
Right.
I
That's I
never
mean,
met you.
But the thing is, too, like with us there, like we didn't really talk about anything other like as soon as we
Work.
saw each other, it was immediate work,
work. It
and
was.
that's all that was on our mind. Like even my wife was like, "Did you get to know him?" I'm like, "Bro, we worked like
Yeah.
the whole time.
We roomed together,. I mean, we were just working. Like that
That's
was,
all we talked about."
and it was like we were having a sick time. We were both doing something that we enjoy, so it was like that was sick. Taco
I was
Tuesday.
I was pumped when I heard that you guys were going. I was so happy.
Oh,
Yeah,
so cool.
couldn't
It
I
was so
couldn't
cool.
even believe it until I was there.
It was still. I think. Yeah, I told Bobby, it's like I still don't believe it. I said probably when we like get our badges and we walk in, then it's real, and it was. I was like, oh crap, we are here.
The exhibitor
I
badge,
met Chris
baby.
in the Fire Sprinkler podcast. That was cool.
Yeah, we got to meet
Ah,
Chris for the first time. That was sick. We got
it's like
meet a
going
lot
to
of people.
Disneyland.
It is like Disneyland for a sprinkler fitter at that place. Telling you, telling you.
Kind of like
And my partner was trying
Dragon
to go
Con.
down there before you guys were going to go. I'm like, no, 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 we can't go there. I shouldn't be in Vegas.
Go
I
to
got things to
go to
do.
AFSA.
Yeah,
That one's
AFSA
like
on.
strictly sprinkler. All right, so
That
two
had everything. It was
241.
cool.
Let's want to talk about 241.
Actually, Bobby, if I had to say one thing before we move on to that,
Yeah.
NFPA, the website, you
Yep.
could sign up, sign in, and they'll, as like a regular person, you could have access to all of the codes for free.
No.
Digitally. Yeah, on their website.
For
Takes
real?
a little bit to find. Yeah, no, it takes a little bit to find like the links if they want you to buy, but you can reference any book that they have for free
Oh,
as a regular
that's a
person.
wicked reference. So
I
I
just want to
have
make sure all the guys
my
knew that.
my local union, and with my union number, I can sign on to the nfpa.org through I have like, credentials to sign in. I have access to every book. And that they're probably going to give them access to the same thing that I have access to, which is a really good, just click and play. You can search keywords. It's excellent. It's an excellent source to have if you can't get all the books.
It's not that easy, but you can definitely make it work. Where you can see like look through like the content, see what page, scroll through. But it's not a printable. It's not probably not easy, but
Yeah,
you
it's not
know, if
printable.
some of these guys need it, it's a good head start if you don't actually can't have the book or buy the book.
That's awesome. So anybody who didn't hear
Think
that,
about that.
Steve's saying that if you go to nfpa.org and you do some clicking and some searching, you could get into a section where you could sign in as a regular old person and find access to all NFPAs. And if you are not aware, there is hundreds of them. NFPA there's a lot of standards. And like I said before, 13, 13D, 20, 241, 14, 25. If there's any that I'm missing, please put it in the comments. But those are really the ones that we should be focused on, is those ones
13
that I just talked to. 13.
Before I
all.
fly, I get the airplane one, and and I read over that. One time I had this lady, I know this is mean, but I couldn't let it go. I just
Sync
couldn't.
module.
This lady, she was kind of like a Karen on the plane, and I just ended up having to sit like the aisle across from her, and she was being a jerk about being on there, and you could tell that she was super nervous and scared. And then I told her, I was like, look, if it goes down, we only have 90 seconds to get off this plane or we all die. So if you just shut up and just,
Wait,
just
you're
let me
talking about
just
a plane crashing?
yes. So if
I
it
have
goes
I have
down or
faith I have faith in the pilot that he's gonna we're gonna be sliding. Hopefully there's not like a bunch of trees. You gotta figure we're not over water, right?
but it's also a concealed container. So if it fills up with any kind of smoke at the time, if
Mm.
it filling up with smoke,
Your
you have
little thing
90
comes down, you
seconds.
put it on your face first, then you help people, right?
Yeah,
That's what I
that's
tell my
right.
that's what I tell my wife when I'm grabbing dinner. Like I gotta get my plate first, then I can help everybody else. Tell me how
Way
tell
up
me
You gotta
how
there.
eat before you sit down and eat.
tell me how it says, thanks for ruining it. I like to imagine my Bobby and Brian meeting of you two running across a field of sunflowers with a big hug at the end.
That's what I see in my mind.
It's like midnight at a taco
That's what I
joint with a
saw.
bunch of drunk people.
Yeah, we were like, "What's up?" He's like,
Sync module. What's up with the sync module, Tommy? Were we talking about something? I missed the
That's for the fire alarms.
oh,
"Yeah, it's
the sync
fire
module.
alarm.
Sorry,
The
I
same
was sleeping
module
on
too.
in the YouTube comments. Florencio and
I think
Tommy and all the guys, Chandler, Chris, D Weave, other Chris. What up? Thanks for joining us. Go ahead, Bry. Sorry.
yeah, I think the sync module is that's what I think. I don't want to say too much, but I think what happened was the sync module, they just synced it up to the main panel and not individually. The problem is that each floor has uh different make and model horn strobes. So if that sync module is like a system sensor and then you got wheel lock uh horn strobes on one floor, like it's gonna go at different times, to my understanding of my experience of this of like one conversation.
Yeah,
So
I'm not savvy in fire alarm whatsoever.
I was at a building that was major trouble, major issues that we fixed the sprinklers for, and that guy the fire marshal was swinging his dick around, and I couldn't believe it when he said that. You got to sync these up.
I've never heard of
I
that
had
till tonight.
I failed for a shot glass worth of water on a leak. Nothing against you.
A
Do it
sh-
again because they were so mad at this landlord.
oh, what? Because there was one little leak?
A shot glass worth of water was on the floor after being there 3 hours.
Oh man.
It was an existing dry system. So we probably ripped out 2/3 of it,
And we have one little leak. That's awful.
like a week. I'm like, it'll
How
be
about
fixed in hours.
how about
We'll see
Justin's
in a
video
week.
today? Can we stop and give Justin a little shout out from Atlantic Fire Controls?
I
You
didn't
guys,
see it.
he posted an in-depth video of how like basically a basic fire pump and a basic controller is wired, and he drew a diagram. It's a long video. You're not going to be able to watch it quick. But
I'll have to
if you
check
haven't
it out.
seen it, he was a guest on the show, Justin, Atlantic Fire Controls. Really, really good content right there. I watched the video 3 times. You can learn something. He's going to teach you something. You might think like, why would I ever need this? But the more that you know, if you're presented in that situation at any time, you'll be able to retain that info that he gives away for free in that video. So go watch it, like it, and
So I
comment on it and
just
tell him thank you.
shared it on my stories on my Instagram. So Atlanta Fire Protection, you can go there
And you
if
can
you're watching live.
and you can find Justin. Bobby,
Right.
not all big pilots have Captain Sully skills on the Hudson. That's what I'm hoping for, though. And then I want to just like, you know how they ask you if you can sit at the emergency exit, or they like ask you if you're capable. Man, I'd be capable of sitting at that exit, boy. Get out,
That's what
everybody
I
out,
did.
everybody out.
So when I sat there, when I got to the airport, there was this girl that she's a Colombian girl that knew Sarah from Colombia. And then she was like messaging all her friends, and then Sarah, and she was like, send a picture around. Is this your husband? I think this is Sarah's husband. And then we ended up talking, and then we tried to sit together, and I didn't get there, but she worked her girl magic, and we sat at the emergency exit and had plenty of leg room. So much
Awesome.
leg room. We just kind of like talked the whole time, and I had tons of snacks because I'm a dad, book bag filled with snacks. Then when I got to the hotel room, I unloaded
He
it.
did have a lot of snacks. He's like eating all kinds of these snacks. I'm like, no, we got to get to work. I have like all equipment. My bag had so much stuff. Once you change
Yeah.
brands on horn strobes, your sink is screwed. I did it 2 years of inspection with some alarm service before becoming a fitter. Once you change brands on horns and strobe, your sink is screwed. Really? So how do you fix it?
Yeah, I'm trying
That
to
seems that seems awful.
I'm gonna send a fire alarm text. Oh, I'm gonna send a fire alarm technician out there to kind of see if he can sync it without me replacing all of them. But if he can't, I'm just replacing every single one of them. And
The
it's not
job,
that big of a deal. Like it's 5 floors, so it's about 13 um 13 horn strobes per floor. It'll probably
I can
just be
reach
a
out to
long
that
day.
guy though, see what he
Huh?
bought. I can reach out to the guy that had the issue when I was at, see what he bought. Even if it's a module per floor, unless you want the service dollars.
It's not that big of a deal. They'll agree to whatever I send them. So
Replace them then.
Hey, what's up
Maybe
with
the
the
dollars.
2-inch line on Discord? Did we confirm it's 2-inch?
what?
That
No, I
picture.
haven't been out there.
Oh, all right.
I did it as 2 inch.
I'm waiting on that confirmation. You let me know it's 2-inch.
I sent it. I sent it, man.
You
Because
did?
the hanger,
The hanger. The hanger gives it away.
the 2.5 inch hanger goes kind of like in and like way up.
Oh yeah, and if it was 2.5, it's more than likely going to be grooved.
Right.
Final answer. Send it, kid. I want to know. Let me know.
Well, we'll find out.
So if you're the standard for installing the installation of sprinkler system should be 13. If you're in a 1 or 2 family dwelling or manufactured home, should be 13D. The standard for installation of stationary pumps and fire protection is NFPA 20. The safeguarding, construction, alteration of any demolition operations is NFPA 241. The standard for installation of standpipe and hose systems is NFPA 14, and standard for inspection, testing, and maintenance, NFPA
What about
25.
13 R?
That's what I was gonna say. 13 all.
What is
Yeah,
it? Come on, hit it. 13R.
Multifamily residential. 13 all.
like apartments.
No, that's
Yeah.
13D.
No, 13T is single
No,
dwelling,
And 13R is
like
single
multifamily
dwelling.
residential.
Yeah,
so more than 1 or 2 family.
right.
Because 13D does 1 or 2 family and manufactured homes. So 13R is larger.
Correct.
Huh.
But even like some of the hotels in the fall, it's like their rooms fall into R.
Oh, okay.
And the whole is a commercial.
So like a high-rise
13D
apartment
will
building or a
be
high-rise
yeah,
hotel would be 13R.
right. 13D would be more like I
Unless
would
you're in the
imagine.
stairwells building the standpipe, then you'd be following 14.
homes in California that have to be sprinklered. That I would imagine that's 13D.
Right. Well, and out my way, like if you have a two family and you want to remodel it, you have to add sprinklers if you remodel more than 50%.
If you do D
Hmm.
or R,
What?
do you do like 13D or 13
That would
R?
be
Because it
13D.
changes a lot. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I think it's 13D. One or two family dwelling is what they're doing out here. And if you like, and the way that they'll avoid this, the loophole that people seem to be doing is they just like they'll redo one unit 1 year and make it like 49%, and then they redo
Yeah.
the other unit the next year, so they never actually redo 50% of it to add the sprinklers, which is bullshit. We gotta make it
Yeah.
so
But
some.
13D has no fire department connection either.
Oh, is that a rule? Learning
Yeah.
something. I'm learning
13
something.
doesn't. The R does.
Who else has got facts? Come on, spit the facts out in the comments. So NFPA 241 is the one that I'd like to see like we need a nationwide movement band together. The fire departments need to enforce it. The GC of the job should be appointing a person that goes over this whole process. They're like an appointed person. It's an FPP. I forget exactly what it is. But they're supposed to monitor this NFPA 241. It's called the NFPA 241 plan. It gets submitted with your permit through the permitting process, and the fire department shouldn't be approving any of the permits unless you have an NFPA 241 plan. You're safeguarding that building while it's under construction. You can't just like if it has sprinklers and you're gonna go if you have a sprinkler system that's active, you're gonna go in and start working on this building. You can't just like all right, we're going to cap this off and we're going to have no sprinklers until the time of construction. Now, if you need to do that and you have to take the sprinkler systems down, which I've seen before, the electricians come in, they put this big heat loop in, which is like basically like a smoke detector system, but it's like a heat line. It's that little red wire, and they run it back and forth, and
Great.
it will alert the fire
Do you
department.
guys do loops like in New York City or no?
What do you mean, like a heat loop?
Like
That's
let's say you like vanilla box the building. In New York City, they'll make you do like a temporary loop, and they put the heads real low, like 7 foot. It's weird.
Never heard of that.
It's probably a New York City thing.
And then
And
like
then once you're done, you just put everything back to
if you're
normal.
putting up a brand new building that's over 40 feet, you have to put that temp standpipe in, that temporary dry standpipe that's monitored has you got a gauge that can verify you have pressure at the street, you have a quick drain, and it goes hose valve on every floor, and it has to be one floor below where they're swinging steel, and no other trade's allowed to go to the floor if there's no hose valve.
I think it's great. It's great for us.
And
Great billable.
every
we
single
don't do that
building
in
in
Georgia.
every single building in Boston is like that. You do not have a high rise going up that doesn't have a temporary standpipe. And the best thing that you could do as a contractor is and if the stairwell is applicable and everything, it all has to kind of fall into place perfectly. But you use your permanent location, you put permanent piping, and you use it temporarily. You get it live somehow, but at least you get that permanent stack of vertical, so you don't have to demo it out like what we're doing on a lot of times. You have to just
Yeah.
put it in and then take it out. But
That's
when I
definitely a
post
New
the
York City thing. Didn't make it out to where I usually work.
yeah, New York and Boston, I think we're really the only ones that we're leading it. And maybe in California, I would say that they might be doing it.
Well, that bank that tripped everything was New York City, so they made some quick concessions.
But together in the community, it only makes these buildings safer. It's more work for us, and it keeps everybody on the same page. But we really got to get the authority having jurisdiction to be enforcing these, and that's going to be the big thing. Is because the GC is not going to do this until the fire department makes them.
Oh, absolutely. It's a forced hand.
Yo, Doom Nation, what's going on? We're trying to talk code. There's so many codes that we should be following. A lot of people, unfortunately, the majority, once they get that ticket, they never open a book again.
But the other thing is life's an open book, so you can always figure it out. So
The test
if
is
a question
also an
comes up,
open
That's
book.
fucking good. Get in the
life's an open
book.
book, buddy.
That's it. So, like, if you got a question, did you check the book? Did you look? Chances are, if I'm
The
asking
thing,
somebody something, I've already searched, I've tried to find it, and I can't find it. Then I would ask somebody.
so that doesn't work with me. So with sales and stuff, like people are asking me questions, and I need to know it. The big thing is here's another situation. I also tell my high profile customers one of the ways that helps me get these accounts is that I will represent them at their facility as the fire protection professional when fire marshals come to walk through or if they have issues. So that instead of the building owner or the building manager not knowing anything about fire protection, instead of them getting beat up, I can come and stand toe to toe, code
Right.
wise. So
So I have
when
a
they
question
come
for
at
you.
me, I need to be able to come back.
But I
And
have a
that
question for you. Like today, I was looking at a job. They called me out of nowhere. Like, hey, come look at this. It was some heads that need to be moved. I'm like, we're trying not to add heads, and I'm looking. And sometimes in light has you can 9 foot from the wall. I'm looking around, and I ended up with, hey, I think we can do this, this, and this. I got to go. I just want to double check the code about like a cafeteria, like luncheonette. Is that still light hazard, or will that room kind of pocket still be acceptable for that large room with 225 square feet per head, not 9 foot off the wall? But I said, hey, I got to double check this, and then left that. Is that something you wouldn't do? And as a sales guy, I'm like,
All
I
right.
think this is where we're going, but I got to go double check this.
All right, give it to me again.
yeah, you
Give it
got
to
to
me.
make
So,
sure.
so there was a bunch of they must have added a wall at some point. The fire marshal finally picked up one. There was some sprinkler heads that were too close to the wall, so you could just move
Within
them
like
over.
4 inches, kind of too close.
Yeah, no, 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 like on the wall. Like you got to take the stuff off the wall because we're going to destroy your wall and you have to repaint it that close.
Oh, well, that's gotta go.
So we
That's
got to move these. At minimum, we have to move these 3 heads. But now
Uh-oh.
I went to one office where the wall is, and one of the heads is 9 foot off the wall, like 8 foot 10. I'm like, all right, we're cool. It's a small room. Then I went to on the other side. It's like a luncheonette cafeteria. Those heads are right around 9 foot off the wall. Now I just left saying, look, I'm not 100% sure if this will still be light hazard where I can apply this rule to it. Let me go home and double check. But this is, I think, what the plan of action is. Now, as a sales guy, you think that's a good idea, or you would just say, hey, we're good, or roll the dice.
You're
Like I
talking
showed my
about
knowledge, but I was willing to say, hey, I got to double check this.
on when it comes to cafeteria, right? So the cafeteria was on the plans
There's no
originally
plan.
as a
There's
there's no
nothing in the
plans at all in
plans.
the
Nothing in
building.
the plans. And if I don't have to
Nothing.
get ahead, I don't need plans.
Well, let me ask you this. When they originally created this building, or when they changed it, they already moved heads. So that means that the fire marshal who approved these originally takes a responsibility in the
I
law.
think I think somebody put this wall up unknown.
Well, then that
Mm,
would be a change of occupancy, but then it would just be the spacing from the first head to the wall. That's it. Now that one room with it being like here, I mean that's got to change. But the other in that area, it was already approved. If they put a wall in and they have to put that the first sprinkler head to code, and then the rest is already in code. There's no wall there. There's no change in space.
No,
boom.
the fire marshal accepting that somebody did work on permit and he wants it correct. So now I'm
Mm.
trying to use the rules so they don't have to add heads.
I would
If I
say
add
So they
heads,
I would say one
out
man,
the
one
fire
man for 8 hours. If you sign an 8 hour ticket right now,
it's not a
I'll
bill.
have
It's not a
two
billing
heads
thing.
added on this side and two heads added on that side right now.
It started as a sales question, how I present
Boom.
myself.
Yeah,
Now
no,
we're
I
going to technical
know.
exactly
questions.
how I would say it to the fire marshal.
Toss them heads in, baby.
Well, no, the fire marshal said just move the heads. But now as a contractor, once I touch it, just moving the heads and making it okay doesn't mean those other rooms are alright.
Mm,
Yes, but as a contractor, you are only responsible for the space that you touch, not anything else.
mm,
So if you are contracted, for example, let's say this area, the room that you're in right now, right?
Yeah,
You're moving every head that's in that room back 2 feet.
yeah.
Okay. But the room next to it is fucked up,
out of
Yeah,
right?
but
Or
scope.
it doesn't have
as a
sprinkler
caveat to
heads.
it, I'm still the
Yeah.
professional, and the fire marshal's still for the inspection. And like, hey, Steve, you're a jerk off. Why wouldn't you fix this? You
Not in my.
know,
Because
It's
I'm
not in my scope.
you got to make it right though.
It's not in
We
my
had time to
scope.
make it right.
I never went in
no,
that
you
room. It
don't
wasn't in my
have to make
scope.
it right. The property manager, so in NFPA 25, it shows that the people who are responsible for that is the building owner and then the building manager, the property manager, not you.
No, but as me, if the room next door is an issue and we're only got called in for this room, I'm going to talk to the customer. and say, look, the fire marshal's coming here. Let's go take care of this. And I don't want to have the fire marshal come in and look at this like, hey, this is fucked up. Why wouldn't you just take care of this? We have a permit.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
if
gonna fix it
the fire
easy.
marshal mentioned it, then I would tell them, I would say, hey, just to let you know, the fire marshal mentioned this other room. It could be it could be a issue in the past. We're already here. Let's just add 4 hours to it, and let's get this taken care
Well,
of.
no, I'm proactive today, saying I know these other things are an issue.
Mm.
So this is what the fire marshal requested. He's going to be in this area. We're also going to fix these other ABCs. They're minimal. Let's just wipe it all out. He's going to be here. Let's make it good for him.
So customers do not like it when you go in there and you start pointing things out, like, "Ooh, that's rough. Oh, that's got a bad." They don't want that.
Sounds like
They don't.
They don't, but like the
cha-ching.
door behind me, if the sprinkler heads are hanging 3 feet long behind the door behind me, I shouldn't tell the customer, hey, we got to raise these. We have a permit open. Let's just take care of it. It'll cost you minimal money.
Hey kid, sign an 8-hour ticket. I'm gonna put a hanger on there for you.
That's just how I do it. I guess it's
Now,
different.
definitely depends on the relationship. I have customers that don't even look at the proposal. They just say, "All right, Brian, disapprove it."
They just
You know,
accept it. Bam.
you
That's the
Yeah,
handsome
that's the way
bastard.
to
take
go.
everything. Yeah.
Well,
No,
I try to be
of course.
proactive with that one. It's minimal extra,
So I got a
and let's make it good.
I got a text from Mike Fazio at 10 past 9 that I missed. He's got a customer that has an employee who has epilepsy, and they have to trip their pre-action at 5 a.m. every year before the employee starts work because the way the system is programmed, the horn and strobe on one electronic actions needed to be tripped, the solenoid and the pre-action. So he's got to go and trip that system before the epileptic worker comes on into work. Thank you for sending that in, Mike. Appreciate that. Sorry I didn't see it 20 minutes ago when you sent it. There's a lot. There's a lot going on right here. I shared us on. I shared us to I think Sneed's page on Facebook. See what happens. We got one. We got one like on Facebook. Facebook doesn't really do much. You know. I don't really.
But
It's
Brian, more of
an
it's I
older
want to be a
crowd.
sales
People,
guy. I'm
the
Bobby.
guys who
I'm walking to
complain.
you. How do we do this?
How do we? Yeah.
I just sell some stuff.
Yeah.
I need to do like a little training episode to talk about selling.
Yeah, that'd be great.
My goal, so to put y'all in this. So this is the last week of the month. I'm going on vacation. My goal is to sell $100,000 this week.
Oh damn! And you're gonna
I
say now you have to do it.
I was just putting it together. So
This is called
I'm
accountability.
yeah, I'm
This
putting
is
it.
called lay on his parade.
So on Friday,
This week, it's Tuesday.
I'll put it on a story. I won't say what I did, but I'll just say I did it or I didn't get it on Friday.
Lay
Okay.
on your
So right
parade, though.
now,
How
so I
much would you
did.
make if it was actual Atlanta fire protection and you
Oh,
made those kind of
ridiculous.
sales?
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Come on.
I know you like where you work, but
Cha-ching! Go get it, Wayne says.
Stress, man. Maybe in the future.
He's young.
no,
Look
you're
at
not
him.
on your plate. I get it.
He's young. Look at him.
I like the coffee, the coffee company. It's awesome.
Where are you
guys
going
are-
on vacation?
Yeah. We're going to Florida. Me and Sarah, it's gonna be our first trip. So I'm excited about it.
Mike says to hit him up for
Um,
that licensing stuff.
Yeah.
I don't drink coffee. I'm like, send me a couple bags of coffee. Let's do it. My wife drinks coffee.
You don't drink
Yeah.
coffee,
No, I
Steve?
support my boys. No,
What do you drink?
What
Nothing?
what do you not like? What do you not like about the coffee?
I don't know. Just I have too many addictions. I have a problem with life. I have another one. I drink too much coffee now.
So
Let's
you're
just,
so
Let me
you're
tell you.
so you're
let's
grouchy.
not
You're
open this-
grouchy.
let's not open this door.
Listen, you're grouchy in the morning. I think
No, I'm all right.
with no coffee.
No, I get right up. I'm usually pretty good. If I can
Yeah,
get up,
no,
I'm
no, I
usually
didn't. I
good.
didn't say you have trouble getting up. I said you're grouchy.
No, I come down to this desk. Everyone's working. I jump in this chair, and then
Big
the
smile, no
questions
coffee.
start.
Oh, you
Questions
just gotta
start.
just with the coffee, kid.
What's crazy is in Vegas, like we would set our alarms, but me and Bobby would both wake up before alarms. And you're like, "You ready to go? Yeah, let's go." It's like,
Let's do it.
let's go.
I'm sure it's like
Well,
Christmas morning every
And the
day.
time,
Couldn't believe it.
and like, what time was it? We were like behind, or we were
It's
ahead,
some,
or it was fucking.
yeah,
The timing was weird. We were 3 hours behind,
yeah.
right?
I think it was 4 hours.
It's a weird ass time zone to be in. Got to be on the Beast Coast, baby.
Yeah, my wife, she called me at like 4 a.m. Like, look,
Yeah,
look,
right?
I will text you when we get up.
Well, then it would be like whatever. It was like 5 o'clock, and it'd be bedtime at home. 5 o'clock was like we were at the convention. Brian, you will do it. You got it, Brian. Light work.
Yeah, I
Let's
got a
go.
lot of work. I had some plans out. I think I can get a little construction job. If I can get that construction job sold, I think I could hit it. I am currently at $15,000 from
You do
yesterday
100 rand in a week, you come work with me. Let's do it.
to
I'll bring my licenses down.
Let's go. It's Sale Guy Bry.
That's the plan. Y'all wait to hear me on Friday. Wait to hear me on Friday.
Episode 61. Think we'd make it this far? Like, hey, let's
I,
start a podcast, dude. Like, all right.
If you do 100,000 a week, what do you do a year? We can't say.
oh, a good bit. Yeah.
Sure.
A
If
good
you're swinging for 100 a week,
Yeah.
a good bit.
Pretty good.
He's crushing it, huh? So from
I'll
from
bring the
fitter
insurance down, we'll
from
get
fitter
awesome
to
bands. You
inspector
tell me.
to sales guy. That's got to be the way to go. Uh-oh.
Yeah. I love it. I like the psychology of it. I read about it. Like right now I'm reading the Little Red Book of Selling just to kind of keep it together. And then, when it's fun because when I'm with a customer, when I'm in there, it's like game time. It's like I got my batting gloves on. I got my bat. I'm just warming up to go hit, like
I
it's
feel
just
you.
that drive. It just, man,
The Little
it's
Red Book of Selling.
Nah, I
yep.
got the whole world on our shoulders, man. We got mortgages
The
to
Little
pay. We
Red
got
Book
bills
of
to pay.
Selling.
Everything's on the line.
They got
Let's
that shit
do
on
this.
they got that
Let's
shit
do
on
this.
Audible. Bobby doesn't really do good reading when I drive, you know?
It does have Audible.
All right,
Yeah,
good.
they
I
have
like I like Audible. It's tough to read books while you drive, you know?
it is.
You
It
ever see
is.
people doing that? People do that.
Dude, I think I told you about that. There was a lady, I was honking
Oh,
at her,
yeah, we were talking about
looked
it.
at me, and I was like, hey, get off
Like
the
like people are like all mad about someone sending a text
doing.
or whatever they're doing, you know, taking a selfie, but like, yo, people are reading books while they drive? I can't even read a book while I sit right here. I
Another
don't
one
know
on
what
the
to drive.
expressway. A chick was eating a bowl of cereal a couple years ago. I'm like, Jesus,
Oh man, she's waiting for
What
that's your
about
brake
when they're
train.
breakfast?
like up there, like doing their eyes with the thing down,
Um,
going like 70 on the highway,
We just gotta close that attic job. Oh, Chad Davis. One of you guys know Chad Davis?
Chad Davis.
Chad Davis. We just gotta
the
Yeah,
close
other
that
one
attic
with
job.
that bad Florence.
yeah, that added job that's hot. That's woo. The added job is
Oh,
sick.
I remember
So
hearing. Oh, is this one we heard about a while ago, right? Where you're replacing
yeah, so I,
everything?
I put a little pressure on her. I put a little pressure on her. We're gonna get a second proposal. She's supposed to call me tomorrow, and it was good, man.
A
So
little
we'll
bit of
see.
pressure. Let's go. Close it
1 week.
out.
But the goal is a $100,000 this week. I think we can do it.
Oh, we're
I
gonna do
hope
it.
you will do it.
We're
You
gonna
don't
do it.
think you
We
will.
got you got wind in your sails right
You
now.
will do it, buddy. You will. You don't
I
think it, you will do it.
So
know.
then as I'm still stuck on that news where you're saying you can go to nfpa.org and you can get the code book for free. So there's no reason for anybody to have an excuse to not be checking in on that thing. If you're
Just got to
working on
make
a
an account.
if you're working,
Like
yeah, you got to make
email
an
address,
account with
that's it.
nfpa.org. But if you're working on a particular thing, if you're working on standpipes or if you're working on installation, if you're working under an inspector, if you come in the next morning as an apprentice and you have like some straight code verbiage on your breath, you are going to succeed that day. You need to be doing that. You need to be like, "Oh, well, I was reading the book last night and I learned that we should be doing this and that." Try to find little mistakes that maybe someone's making. You could do that by reading this damn book. And now you can get it for free. Or you can get access to it by making an account, nfpa.org.
All right,
That
well,
Or
is
I
you can
post the
just go
fine.
to our
I'm on.
Discord and ask questions. Dope and
you
Tape
or
Discord.
you could go to the Dope and Tape Discord. I updated the link in my link tree. It seems like a lot of people were having trouble with the Discord link from the link tree, so I updated it. Hopefully it's working. If you want to get on there, go to a Blue Collar Bobby on Instagram and go to Linktree. You can go to Atlanta Fire Protection, go to his Linktree, and you can ask a question in that Discord, and you are going to get some answers from different people, and you're probably going to get screenshots of the code book, And that is another great source if you don't feel like going in the code book yourself.
Let's talk about consequences.
Oh boy.
So consequences of you need to do good work. Now, it doesn't matter. Like you could do, let's say this little sideways install, right? Or this, and the inspections is very easy, very easy. You can just check off that pre-action did good. That oh yeah, that passed, right?
But did it?
And but did it? The
But did
thing
it?
is, this is life safety stuff, man.
Who
I mean
sent us
that
a
like
video of inside a dry? Someone sent on Instagram and they tagged us of like a dry valve that had a rod that was holding the clapper down. You seen that?
Mine was
And
a
I
sludge
did.
one.
I did see that
It's on
sludge.
my
That is no.
story.
But so the one where they're holding that clapper shut, particularly, imagine if there was a fire. The previous guy that inspected it, right? And then there's a big fire there, and then nothing went off, and then they open that clapper and they find that rod that he put in there. That guy's going to
Well,
jail.
well, I just think of
For
as an
sure.
inspector, like all your stuff's being timestamped. Like you're offline. But if you fill out a card and you say, "Hey, he was here on Thursday and he did this and this to the dry system," some shit goes sideways, and all of a sudden they go, "Hey, what'd you do on Thursday?" I'm like, "Oh, there's no signals on Thursday." Like, "Oh, what
Here's
do you mean there's no
another
signals?"
example.
He tripped that test. He tripped it. There should have been alarms. There should have been tampers. There should have been this low airs. But we have no record of it. And
Mm.
now what? Now someone wants to
Let's
talk to you about
say,
it.
yeah, no,
What'd you do that
absolutely.
day?
Let's say that a technician goes there last year. Okay, technician goes there last year, works on it, puts the rod in there. The next year, the inspector goes, uh, it's a Viking F1. It should work, right? Doesn't even take the plate off. Just it works. Flows some water, takes off the covers, and then manually trips the low air and then
Yeah.
the alarm and says it's good. Well, when it comes down to a fire and then people die, and then you go to court, you are the last one there, not the technicians. You're the one going
And you
to
might have
jail.
not
So
put the
it's
rod,
not
and you might have
you.
not put the rod in. You could have had somebody that impeded the way that valve's supposed to work before you, and then you didn't do your job as well, and you're going to take blame for both of those.
But I feel like the
There's
inspectors
no
sometimes don't
attorney out there
realize
that
that
can.
they're being recorded.
You're being recorded, yeah.
They don't realize that. I'm
There's
on test and they just pencil whip it and then leave. But they don't
No,
realize, you
that
know,
the fire alarm
that
system's
you're
tracking
calling.
them.
Yeah, it's going. The signals are going out. If
Yeah,
you
so
don't do your job, they're not going to go out. You say
a
you
lot of
did your
the
job.
all the jobs in
Now shit
Boston,
don't work right. Now
anytime
what?
anytime something happens in that fire alarm panel, it prints out on the printer. You guys have jobs like that?
Very rarely.
Yeah. So a
So
They
lot
have
of
criminal
hospitals
systems.
do,
yeah,
federal buildings do as well.
yeah. So all the jobs that I'm on, anytime you touch anything, you type your password in, you silence, it prints out what's happening. If there's a low air that comes on, so what Steve is saying that if you go there and you're just having a grand old time inspecting everything, saying it's a-okay, and then someone wants to come and check in on you, and they look at that, all those timestamps that should be in the fire alarm panel that aren't, you're a liar,
No,
and
but
they'll
it's more
find
than
out.
that. Central Station is going to monitor that,
Right.
not just the paper.
Not yeah. It's tied into the whole fire alarm system.
Because there was an issue with one of my I guess superintendents. He took over a building, didn't know I was contracted in. Coincidentally, my old shop came after me, did an inspection before my contract was ready to do the next quarter. And I'm like, look, let's just figure it out as gentlemen. I'll come by and look at it. And I look at the cards. I'm like, how long is this guy here? He's like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, there's no way he could be here 10, 15 minutes. I know the building. It's an hour. There's a fire pump, three dry systems, two staircases worth of things. There's no way he did 15 minutes, all that stuff. Called the alarm company and said, hey, this tag says whatever, January 3rd. What signals you got? We only got daily tests at that. I'm like, all right, so there was never offline, there was never tamper, there was never water flow. Yeah, no, sir, it was just a daily test. And I looked at the super, I'm like, yeah, they lied to you. And this is my account. And now they didn't get paid for that inspection. They have to put their tail between their legs.
You got to do it right. You got to take
Yeah,
pride. You got to take pride
it's
in your
gonna
shit.
haunt you. And God forbid someone gets hurt and you have to go to court.
Yeah.
But they're gonna have all the answers before you get asked the question.
This is a life
So
safety system.
I went to court for one of my customers, um, and there was a year that there was not a red tag. So there's a red tag on the system for several years, and then there was a green tag on 1 year, and then there was a red tag. So even the solicitor, which is, she doesn't even, he or she doesn't know anything about fire protection. She was like, "Can we say that was off?
Yeah.
That was a year," and the fire marshal's right there. There's nothing that keeps him from digging into that if he felt like he wanted to.
Right. Why all of a sudden is it just randomly green tagged in the middle of nothing?
Well, I was
Yeah.
deposed in a lawsuit, and it all came
Uh,
up with someone I used to work for
yeah.
years ago. And it had nothing
Yeah.
to do with me, but they were saying they dragged up that there was like a demo of the building, and there was a hand tick they found that said, they removed such and such pipe, so they could remove a mezzanine in that build. And they're like, well, shouldn't you have a permit to remove sprinkler pipe? And now that everyone's panicking that, will the fire marshals find them out? This questioning, this disposition, this pipe was removed, there wasn't a permit.
Oh
Everything's cool, but
man.
it's not.
Everything's cool till you're going to court. Everyone's looking at Brian on his story all dressed up like he's going to court. That could never happen
You're
to
a
me.
handsome bastard,
Yeah,
man.
right. It
You're the kind
could.
of lawyer that could represent me, man. You'd lose that DA, tell how pretty
You
she
know what's
is.
funny? This is funny.
Although she's Colombian, man, I'm a home run. I'm gonna get off scot free.
This is what funny.
That's
The
your lane, man. I'm going home. I don't care what I did. We're out of here. He's got
we
this.
got we got we're out of here. We're
We're
out.
giving a
This
coffee. We're going home.
is excellent. We're getting a coffee.
we get the
Two minutes
cop.
of coffee, please. You're
Oh
gonna love
shit.
these, and we're out of here. I'm going home. I don't care who I
Oh
killed.
man, that is
We're
so
out of
good.
here. He did it.
This is another thing I wanted to say. I don't know if people realize this, but an inspection report is a legal binding document that it's your license and you're representing. So that is 100%. It doesn't have to be notarized, but it is a legal binding document. Everything you say in there is you're saying it's legally correct and you could be prosecuted on any neglect.
You hearing that? You better be doing it right. Tommy Howard says he's seen a lot of people trip pre-actions or deluge without tripping the detection, and you've proven nothing by hitting the pull in case of fire. You gotta check that solenoid operation, kid. This is very true. And we, on the pre-actions that we did, we check every single device. Every single device that's up in the ceiling.
So you reset it, or you trip it with one and then check all the other notification devices.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I check it. You can tell when it trips and so on.
Yeah. You
Well,
just gotta make sure
and
you
then
check every single device.
who had that? Was it Reliable who had that new total pack?
Yep.
So Reliable has a new total pack. I have a video of it, and I say this exact same thing on the video at the NFPA, because you have the total pack. You open it up. You have the Reliable valve, and then you have the panel. The panel you unclip and you pull it out, and then there's a pull station. Can you tell me what inspectors are not gonna freaking pull that pull station? All right, we're good.
Good to go.
Good
Works.
to go.
Right? Then they're gonna go and they're gonna hit their low air like you talk about and all that,
Yep.
and bam, no,
Yep.
go do it the
And
real
see
way.
that pull station on the recording. Let's say it prints it out. Let's say it's a fire alarm panel that has a history, right? It's gonna see, okay, low air. All right, pull station, and then it's not gonna show that you pulled or that you smoked the smoke or
Right.
hit a heat
Or hit a
detector in
heat.
that room. Right.
It's gonna know. Historical reports can be damning. Yeah, so the only way that those reports are not damning is if you do it right.
Right.
Do it right. Right? And if you don't know what's right, then you open up one of these NFPA books and you read all about it and it will tell you what's right. And that's the best thing about these books that you should be reading. And I really wasn't too much of the books. I worked with this guy that when you asked him a question, he would never give you the answer. He'd ask you if you looked in the book. Like that was his answer. Every time you asked a question about sprinkler, like he's like a sprinkler god. Everyone knows this guy and they're gonna call him if they have a question. And he's gonna say, "Did you look in the book already?" Like, well, no, I didn't look in the book. I was kind of like hoping like for a quick answer, like on the fly. Well,
right.
You'll remember it better if you find it in the book, kid.
Helping you, man.
You know, hey, you got any downtime? Like if you fill up, it's a early fill up, and you got an hour to kill in the end of the day before you head home. Well, the apprentice is going to sit down. He's going to read the book. Pick a page and read it. They're all important. Like, this guy really likes to preach the book. I'm going to start looking in this thing. And then I realized through my local union, I have access to every NFPA that they made.
You know, Sarah didn't believe me. She was like, she was talking about her law books and how big and stuff they are and how she has to memorize. Like, I memorized my code book. She's like, no, we have to memorize it. So I was like, go get my code book. It stays where I can read it. And I gave it to her, and she was like, okay, this, what's this? And I told her, and then I told her, and then she kept flipping. And she's like, yeah, okay. Well, ours are like 3 times this. I was like, okay.
That's awesome that you knew that stuff, though. And I also learned today from Steve that you guys can get the free version. So I got to keep telling people that. I'm going to tell people on my story. You can get the make an account at nfpa.org and do some clicking and find that code book on there and learn about it.
So
Tacos for everyone.
Monday, I'm gonna get through this week. I'm really busy this week, but on Monday, I'm gonna reach back out to NFPA, and they're gonna send a guest here. I don't know if it's gonna be Matthew Klaus. They have another guy who's like wicked smart. It's been through some things, but he started with a wrench in his hand and worked us all the way up to NFPA. So we might get that guy.
That'd be great to hear from NFPA. I did a story on site in the tower at one of the hospitals talking about an NFPA
They
241,
shared it.
and they shared it. I mean, I was
That's awesome.
I stopped the lawnmower. I ran inside, told my wife. She's like, who?
Look,
She's like, who? I'm like, it's NFPA.org, babe. The lawnmower's out there, just sitting in the middle of the lawn. I'm like, man, yeah. So if anyone from NFPA is watching it, that was awesome. That was an awesome moment. They're like, and then they're like, thank you for talking about 241. So that's why I want to keep talking about it. It's something that like
yeah.
we're doing, and I want to see other people doing it. It's good work, man. It's good work, and it's different work, and it's its own little thing that you can learn about. And I like it, and it keeps the job safe, and it keeps the firefighters safe, and they know right where to drive their truck and hook up, and then they can just follow that standpipe. They got
Very.
the big signs. They have a valve. It's good. It's good work. It really is good
Don't
work.
know how easy it is to get a fire on a job site. I've seen it on several job sites. I'm sure we've all seen a fire on a job site.
Been a couple of good
Those
ones.
freaking welders be dropping stuff all over the
It's always
place.
the welders,
Catching,
man.
yeah,
Every
Pulling the
time.
burner now.
And so you want to see these firemen on a hot day with all their gear on, and they're running hoses up and they got to stretch their hoses up the stairwells, or they want to just run up with a pack of hose and hook up to one of your valves and do it like gentlemen.
yeah.
And then maybe it works, and then maybe they'll talk about your temporary standpipe that you put on them. There's a job site fire, and it was the sprinkler guys were heroes. Come on.
That's awesome.
So how do we
That's
get it? How do we get it implemented nationwide? How do we get more people to do it? You as the sales guy want to sell it, but if you have that as a price on your sale, that you're not going to get that job because someone else is not going to because no one's enforcing it. So you're never going to sell it to them.
That's gonna be a line item.
100%. Just like what we talked about. You know, one company's done to do all iron, and then some's done to do semi plastic.
And they're going to save money on them plastic fittings.
Absolutely.
So we need to make it so everybody's just submitting this NFPA 241 plan with their permit process, and it's just all implemented.
Yeah.
Got to get the firemen on board nationwide.
That's gonna be. It's not that. I think it'll be authority having jurisdiction. At least,
That
not
usually
in Boston.
that usually breaks down to the fire department, though, doesn't it? Like fire prevention within your local fire department.
I
No.
don't think
So
so.
Boston's very different in that
So
perspective.
where do you get your
So
sprinkler permits from?
I get it from the fire marshal office. The fire department is not involved at all in any of this process.
Damn.
Same for me.
Zero.
Yeah, but you're in New York.
I've got to a fire marshal. I don't go to the FDMY.
Well, yeah, I guess
Well, New York City with the FDMY, but it's a different
fire
thing.
marshal, fire department,
Where I
like it's
work,
still
where I work, it's fire marshals, not the local fire departments.
oh
That's separate. The problem
collaborations with
is,
the fire
it's money.
departments. Let's go, Wayne. That's what I'm talking about. Building and
problem's
fire
money.
code changes. We need building
Yes.
and fire code changes to get a
Yeah, but
sprinkler permit.
as soon as you get momentum like that, all the builders will freak out. They're going
Why?
to lean on whoever they have to lean on, and they're going to tell the fire marshals, "We're not doing that." It's going to be a wild battle to get that involved.
Huh.
outside of both places in the real world. In the world, I deal with a lot.
Yeah, if you want to get a sprinkler permit in a random town in Massachusetts, you're going to the fire prevention office of their biggest fire department in that town. Like Leominster, where I grew up, it has I don't know how many fire departments. There's like five, 6 stations. You go to their headquarters and you apply for a sprinkler permit in their town, and then they're gonna want like their I don't maybe not out here because it's like if this is really implemented in Boston, they might not even be implementing it out west where I live, but it should be.
Yeah, but once it comes to money, there's going to be pushback, and the pushback has a lot of money. And it's going to be quite the battle.
Well said. Well said.
That's
Yeah. Well, then isn't that like sometimes the firemen want places to burn? Don't
Some
they miss the
places,
fire? Like who's
well,
that?
the firemen themselves, they want the fun. They don't want
So,
to sit
but
there and just do
who's
trash.
that lady that I keep seeing on Instagram always talking about her husband that like had to move from
She's a comic. She's a comic. It's on my.
So
It's
she's
on.
funny. He's like he doesn't want to move to Manhattan because
So
there's
she
too many
is a
there's too many
comic.
sprinklers. There's too many sprinklers. Not enough fires, kid.
Yeah, Brooklyn burns.
Brooklyn burns.
yeah, but I've had a
Brooklyn
customer
burns.
not put fire sprinklers in because he was going to get charged more for insurance.
Really?
They were more concerned about false activations and floods than the issue of this building having loss of life. So it was detrimental to him not. It cost him more money in the long run to
Yeah.
install it because he had to pay for it and didn't get a discount, and they would probably raise it because they're concerned about false activations.
I'm dumbfounded. I guess I get it. I understand it. I always thought that if you had sprinkler systems in your building, you were saving. Like if you get sprinkler
Well,
system,
yeah,
like if I would
you'll save
if I would add sprinklers to my house, wouldn't I save on my insurance?
not a lot, if anything, because we got asked to do inspection for a single family kind of thing. We're like, yeah, it's a one-time thing. We'll come by for like $200. So forget about it. I'm going to save $80 a year. But don't worry about it.
$80 a year?
Will be his
They,
discount, and it's supposed to be $200 to be to drive out there and inspect it. She said, just forget about the inspection. Don't worry about it. I just
Oh,
won't. I'll just pay the extra $80 to the insurance company.
so a nice exposed copper system throughout my house would just look sick. It wouldn't save me any money.
Probably not. Check your provider.
Check your. I'm not an insurance specialist. I'd love to do a nice exposed copper system throughout the house.
Yeah, but it's your house. It's different.
Just put
You
but
got
some.
there
more.
is a
You
lot
got
of
more important stuff
liability
than
there.
insurance.
We water damage is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, it is destructive. We're talking about destroying your home.
Yeah, if it goes off, if you got leaks.
If
If
or when.
or when my kid hits it with a football in the house or something.
Y'all have a demand. So Watts makes this like leak sensing. Um,
I see stuff like that on
A
plumbing
few of those.
pages. Like, and they put them after
Bowen.
they put them
Bowen
after like
has
a hot
one.
water heater too.
right. So what it does, if it from you turn on your faucet to a full on leak or blowout, there's difference in PSI and
and
pressure.
it and
So
it
it'll stop.
stops it.
You
I
I
have
have a
want
one of
different
those?
one.
I want to put one of them on my house.
You
Mine's a
should.
different one. Like you put in different spots and it senses
Yeah.
water.
I got a wicked
Right.
powerful well pump.
So like God forbid I had a leak and one of those went off. It goes to Wi-Fi, says there's a fucking problem. We have
Oh
water in your
wow.
spot, and then Wi-Fi shuts a valve, electrical, kills the
Oh,
water in the house.
that's pretty cool.
Unless there's a fire and there's or unless
I
there's
don't
like
have
a
no
tornado or
sprinklers.
something or like
No sprinkles here.
I always thought about so
so let me ask you, so it's not mechanical, it's only Wi-Fi?
No, it's like there's just it looks like little like water drops, little white discs for mowing. So you put them down, you could hook them up to Wi-Fi, and they actually locally like ring like a little fire alarm, like a noise. So if they sense water, they hook up to like an app, but they sell an electrical valve that hooks up to that app. So if you had
So
water coming in your house in a weird spot, it'll shut your house water off.
let's say there's a
oh I gotcha.
big storm and knocks out power.
What are you gonna do? Call the
What are you
insurance
gonna
company.
do?
What are you gonna do? I
What
mean,
are what are you gonna
But
do?
nothing's
your bathtub runs out, or the hot water starts leaking out of no reason, and that water's going into your basement. You don't know. All of a sudden, this thing will shut the whole bitch off. I'm like, all right, we're done.
See ya.
I like that.
I like it too. I want to put one on
Those
my
are
house on
hot.
my well. If something ever popped off, that well was just gonna empty in my basement.
Yeah, you need to do something. I mean, look at all the stuff you have in your basement.
Everything's down there. Well, actually, my garage is lower than the basement, and the water would all spill out through the kitty litter hole.
Yeah, but behind me is the mechanical room. This is all finished. Office, wife's office, bathrooms.
I cored a 6-inch hole in my foundation wall from my basement into my garage. My garage is 2 steps down, and so I put the kitty litter. I put this whole kitty litter box with a swinging door, and I got a bathroom vent in there that vents all that smell outside. And so that 6-inch core sits right on the ground. So if the basement were to flood, the water would go into the garage. We wouldn't be able to start accumulating inches in the basement. It would just ruin the floor, I think.
So
So
that's pretty like your what? Your 6 cats, right?
4.
Or
And then my wife just went and picked up 2 bunnies.
oh, did y'all get the bug?
No, we
Yeah,
get
Bobby
them.
Farm.
We
The
get them
chicken.
like it's for my daughter's birthday. We get them like I don't know, July something. They're coming up. We get them soon.
Rabbit tacos or
And
stew?
well, that's what I said. Well, then I was like, are they boys or girls? And they're like, well, we don't know. They could be a boy and a girl. And then like, and my 6-year-old son says if they have babies, we're gonna sell them for $30 a pop. I'm like, kid, we are not having a bunch of bunny babies around here. Like, I don't even want to build a
Yeah.
bunny coop. What are you, bunnies? The
What
local
are you, a
fire
home?
marshal is part of the fire department. Yeah, so that's what yeah, so the
Not by
fire,
me.
no? The fire
No,
marshal's not involved with the fire department?
no. They're usually
No,
volunteers, but
I don't know.
Battery backup, Chad Davis says, if you could lose your power. All right,
Yeah,
episode
battery
61.
backup.
we accomplished nothing we set off to do. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
No, we did good. We talked. It's
No, it was
had a great time
fun.
talking code. We'll
Mine went by fast.
we'll tr
I just want
yeah.
to do like another hour. It was great.
We'll try to do more of the code stuff and get into it. And if you guys have any ones you want us to specifically talk about or touch on, you let us know. Or if you have any questions, you can always fall back to the DMs or to the Discord. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate you guys. I'm happy to be here. We're happy to have you. We're still looking. If you want to come on the show, we're looking for guests. Anybody can come on. It's absolutely free to come on. You just need to give us an hour of your time on a Zoom call. We sit here. We shoot the shit. That's it. You see how easy it is. You guys are usually here in the chat
Yeah,
room.
get
Be
on
the
the
same thing as if you're right here. You don't necessarily have to do a lot of talking. You let Brian do all the talking. You know.
conversation.
It's we just really need you to basically come on. You can ask questions, or if you got a good flood story or a good experience or advice. Do we have any advice for the apprentices before we go, guys?
Read the book.
Read the book. That's a great way to end this one, is to read the book. Pick up a book. If you're just installing sprinklers, then you're going to read 13, 13D, or 13R, depending on the job site you're on. If you're doing some vertical standpipes, which one's that? 70?
14,
14?
14, 241.
Standpipe for hose systems. There's a lot of different little books you're supposed to be reading. You can see, obviously, I don't even know them all. That's why I got to write them down. I got to, you got to have the community to ask the questions if you can't find them yourself. Anything else? You want to add anything before we go, Bry?
Thank you so much for coming on.
We appreciate
Really,
you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button. The subscriptions have been going up. I love seeing it. Thank you. Oh, we're on LinkedIn. I think that we're posting some videos on LinkedIn. I'm not really seeing much video content on LinkedIn, so if you guys want to get on there, our what is it called? An impression? Our impressions are up like 900,000% or something like that. So get on there and put them up by 900,001.